There are so many ways that you can start saving money. You could set up a monthly budget, you could stop eating out, or you could avoid getting that morning Starbucks. These are all really great ways that you can cut back on the pennies, and they've all been proven to work. But today, I wanted to share some of the not so common tips that no one really talks about, and it's these small changes that have actually put me on track to save an extra £10,000 this year, especially the first one, which is regularly switching your bank account. Now, unlike the old days, switching banks couldn't be more easier now, and it's a process that you can do right from your phone. In a time where all the major banks are competing for your custom, there couldn't be a more perfect time to make that switch, and by doing this you could actually earn yourself an extra £200 and save money on various expenses such as meals out and subscriptions. Some of my favourite offers right now are NatWest, who are currently offering switchers a free £200 in cash plus up to £36 a year in cashback, First Direct, who offer £170 in cash plus a £250 0% overdraft, and Lloyds, who offer £150 in cash plus a choice of some popular subscriptions for the first 12 months. Now, something that I think has always stopped people in the past from doing this is that they always thought it was too much hassle having to change where you got paid and switching all over your direct debits and things like that. However, now all bank switches are pretty much done through a service called CAS, which is short for Current Account Switch Service, and what this service essentially does is automate the entire process of switching everything over, and everything will be done automatically for you in no more than 7 working days. In fact, most banks will require you to make the switch through this service to get the bonus, but don't worry, 99% of them have already signed up and you'll find it in your dedicated app. Next up, let's stick with banking and let's focus on how you can optimize your current savings so that you can earn more by making sure that your money is sat inside a high interest savings account. Now, unless you have been living under a rock, in recent months global interest rates have risen to record levels, and whilst it has caused havoc for those looking to borrow money, it has left some opportunity on the table for those with a little bit of spare cash to get a bit more out of their savings, but people are still not taking advantage of this opportunity to literally get free money. Right here is a list of some of the banks offering the best rates, but it's always worth doing your own research as everyone's situations are different. For example, myself, I'm in a position right now where I'm currently in between moving house, which means I have quite a hefty amount sat inside my easy access savings account, which will eventually be used for a house deposit. This means that currently through the rate that I'm on, I'm earning around an extra £160 every month in free money from interest just for having this money sat inside an account like this. Of course, like I said, everyone's situations are different, and there's also going to be an option/tip later on in this video based on your situation that might be 10 times more effective than saving in the first place, so make sure you do stick around for that. But for now, let's move on to some ways on how we can save money on the things that we all love, and that's food and drink. And the first tip I have is an absolute game changer, and that is to download the app Too Good To Go. Now, the way this app works is absolutely brilliant, and no, this video is not sponsored. Basically, you go to the app, choose a restaurant and time slot that piques your interest, and then you purchase what is called a magic bag. And inside this bag will contain a variety of random meals from that restaurant, all at a massive discount compared to regular menu prices. In my opinion, this is an absolute win-win situation for both parties, since the restaurants can prevent food waste whilst offering substantial savings to people like you and me. This app right here has already saved millions of meals being thrown away, which has massively reduced greenhouse emissions. But purely from a selfish point of view, when I first tested this app out a couple of months back, where I got a magic bag from one of my favourite restaurants, Yo Sushi, I think it worked out that we got around £42 worth of food for just over a £5. But anyways, it's completely free to download, and I highly suggest checking it out and seeing what you can get in your area. But for now, let's now turn our heads over to another thing that most of us love, and that is going to be coffee, and more importantly, how can we save on this with things such as subscriptions and loyalty cards. Now, I'm not going to be one of those people that tells you not to go out and get a coffee from your favourite coffee shop in the morning. No one wants to hear that, and it's obvious that if you did do that, then you're going to save money. But what I am going to suggest, however, is thinking about where you get that coffee from and what loyalty cards or even memberships that coffee shop offer. So you could look into something like that. But then another thing, of course, if you don't mind making your own coffee, then signing up for a coffee delivery membership is going to save you even more. Yes, it's never going to beat the luxury of having someone make you one on demand, but in this world of cutting back and trying to save money while still enjoying the things that you love, it's just something that you could do just to help out. Next up, let's talk about cashback websites, and it's still surprising how many people still don't know about them, or they're just not using them yet. So if that is you, don't worry, here's a quick 15-second breakdown on how they work. Cashback websites are basically platforms that offer you rewards for making purchases through their links. These websites have partnerships with various retailers, and when you make a purchase through their link, what they will do is receive a payment from that retailer, and in return they will give you a percentage of that payment as cashback. I've personally saved thousands of pounds using cashback websites like Top Cashback and Quidco, and I'll give you a couple of examples. This year I got £85 back from Sky for signing up for their broadband deal. I also received £16 back for purchasing a mattress through Emma, and I made around £50 back buying Christmas presents at Red Letter Days and Pop in a Box. So knowing this is the way I would look at it. If you're going to spend money on everyday purchases or bigger expenses, using a cashback website can really add up over time, and I can't see a reason why you wouldn't use one. In fact, what I've done is included a free sign up link in the description down below to Top Cashback, and what this will do is get you a bonus £25 cashback for signing up, and this is going to kickstart your savings. Another great way to save money is by taking advantage of the Roundup feature that many banks offer. Now, if your bank doesn't offer this, then that's another reason to go back to my first tip and consider switching to one that does, because this feature, in my opinion, is an absolute game changer. Basically, the Roundup feature works like this: whenever you make a purchase, your bank automatically rounds up the amount to the nearest pound and saves the difference in a high interest account. For example, if you buy a coffee for £2.50, it will round it up to £3 and it will save the extra 50p for you. It may seem like a small amount, but these savings can really add up over time without you really even noticing. Next up is a tip that I've only recently started doing, but it's already made a massive difference in how I think about money and how I spend it, and that is to start using cash for your weekly spending. Now, this is the way that I look at it. Whenever you have physical cash in your hand, you automatically become more conscious on how you're spending it compared to just tapping your card or phone on a screen. This tip, of course, is just a bit of a mindset trick, and it's not really a physical thing that you can implement, but I highly suggest checking it out and just letting me know how you get on. Take advantage of free stuff. The reason I say this is that you would be amazed at how much free stuff is actually out there waiting for you to claim it, and one of the best ways is through birthday offers. Right now, here's a list of some of the nice things that you can currently go around on your birthday and pick up, and trust me, I will be making my way round these places in just under a couple of months when my birthday hits. Make sure you mark the date. But jokes aside, it's not just birthdays, there are also plenty of other freebies that you can grab throughout the year as well. Most of these will require you exchanging your email address so that they can obviously market to you, but a bonus tip is to create a separate email address specifically for signing up to these freebies. This way you won't get your main inbox being bombarded with marketing offers and promotions. Now, when it does come to saving money, a big mistake that a lot of people make is actually forgetting about any outstanding debts that they may already have, and whilst it might be tempting to save as much as possible, the interest on borrowed money is usually higher than the interest on savings, and by prioritising paying off your debts first, you can actually end up saving more money in the long run. Here's an example to show you this. Now, let's say you have £500 debt sitting on a credit card at a 15% APR rate, which of course is very generous right now. That debt would cost you £75 every year if you paid none of it off. But let's now say a miracle happened at work and you managed to get yourself hold of a £500 bonus, and what that left you with is two options on what you wanted to do with your money. Option number one, save the money, or option number two, pay off the debt and be at zero again. Now, if you saved that £500 in an easy access savings account at, let's say, 4%, after 1 year your total savings would be £520. But because you haven't paid off any debts yet, your total debt with interest is now at £575, which means when you look at your final balance, you're technically sitting there at minus £55 worse off. However, if you just use that £500 to pay off your debt in one straight away, yes, your total savings with interest is going to be zero, but so is your total debt with interest, which means your final balance would be zero, meaning that you're £55 better off than what you would be if you saved in the first place. So the tip here is to basically think about, before you start putting money into your savings account, make sure that you have always prioritised your debts first. Now, the next tip might be one that divides a little bit of opinion, but I wouldn't have included it if the savings that you can make from it are well worth it, and that is essentially to consider swapping out branded foods and goods for the supermarket's own version during your grocery shopping. Now, of course, there's going to be some things that you definitely don't want to compromise. One for me would definitely be Coca-Cola. But for many items, the difference in quality and price between mainstream brands and the supermarket's own is just simply not worth it. For example, this quick heat pack of rice from Morrison's own brand costs just 50p for 250 grams, whereas the branded version could cost almost 3 times as much for less quantity. It's literally rice. So having said that, the next time you do go ahead and do a big food shop, do go ahead and give this a try and see how much you can reduce your bill by just by simply choosing the supermarket's own branded products. So there you have it, some lesser known money saving tips that have helped me tremendously that not that many people talk about. If you are still around, I'd really appreciate it if you drop this video a like or maybe even left me a comment down below with a saving tip of your own. It really does help this channel out. But having said that, make sure you follow me on all of my different social media accounts and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.